Can we make our composition or images completely different by using the Affinity's generative edit feature? So let's find out in this video. So before starting, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please hit the subscribe button for more helpful tips and tricks related to Affinity. And if you want to follow along with this tutorial, please find the link for the images in the description. Now with that said, let's get started with the video. So before using the generative edit feature inside of Affinity, first of all, I want to note that this particular feature, as well as all the AI features inside of Affinity, is only accessible to paid Canva Pro subscribers. So if you want to use the AI feature, then make sure you go and subscribe to Canva AI so that you get more AI tools and features inside of Affinity. So now let's start the video. So to apply the generative edit feature, first of all, we'll simply navigate and open an image inside of our Affinity UI. So I'll simply click and drag our image to inside of our Affinity UI. And now after dragging it inside of Affinity UI, now we have successfully opened our image. To access the generative edit feature, we need to switch our studio to Canva AI. And after switching our studio to Canva AI, on the left we can see a tool called generative edit tool. Let's select the generative edit tool, and now you can see that we have a generative edit box that has been popped up. So in here you can see that we can type in our prompt and edit things inside of our image or composition solely through prompting. And there are also other settings such as transparency as well as child layer settings, where checking the protect child layers option on will simply allow us to unharm the child layers inside of the individual layer that we are targeting in our layers panel. So the next option we have is the transparency option, which is by default set to automatic. For this, we'll simply leave the value as automatic. Now let's go ahead and prompt something in order to make changes to our image or in order to edit our image by using the generative edit feature. So the first prompt that I'll type in is to remove the apple from the table. So I'll simply type in remove the apple from the table. And then after typing in the prompt, let's go ahead and click on the edit button. So this particular feature works similarly to the generative feature that we often see in photo editing tools, as well as the native generative feature of Affinity, where we can simply type in the prompt and generate different elements or generate different images. So now you can see that it has successfully removed the apple from the table. And if we zoom in, so I'm using the shortcut key of Command and plus in order to zoom in, and then use the hand tool to pan around. You can see that all the texture as well as the details has been very well preserved in the area where there was the apple. So now after removing the apple, by simply typing in the prompt in the generative edit box, let us go ahead and make few more changes to our image. So now I'll use the shortcut key of Command plus 0 in order to fit our image to the screen. And if you are using Windows, you can use the shortcut key of Control plus 0. And now, like before, I'll simply click on this particular generative edit tool. And this time, instead of removing an object from the image, I'll simply type in the prompt to add elements or objects on top of the table. So for this, I'll be adding multiple objects on top of the table, starting with the keys. So I'll simply type in add keys, a flower, vase, and a phone on top of the table. Please harmonize the highlights and shadows accordingly to the environment to make the generated objects blend well with the ambience of the image. So I've simply given it a simple prompt right here, and now I'll again navigate below and click on the edit button in order to add those individual elements or objects on top of the table. So let's see if the AI is very intelligent enough in order to understand what we have prompted. So I'm really satisfied with the generation. As you can see that the image generated is looking much more natural. And if we zoom in, you can see that the shadows as well as the highlights in the individual objects are looking pretty much realistic right here. Although there are a bit discrepancies inside of the object that have been generated. For example, if we zoom in closely, you can see that there are still pretty much errors on the generation in the details of the object that we have generated. For example, you can see the button here in the mobile phone, which is not generated as expected, and also the details in the key is not generated as expected. However, if we consider the rest of the elements or properties such as the shadows as well as the highlights in the generation, then I think it is looking pretty much natural, as well as you can see the reflection that it has created of the vase on top of the screen of the mobile phone, which is also looking pretty much realistic and natural. And if we analyze the vase, then you can see that the details of the vase is pretty much okay compared to the other two objects. So the next thing that you can notice here is I think the resolution of the objects that has been generated quite does not match with the resolution of the overall image. That is, if we observe the edge areas closely, then the pixel are a bit jaggedy compared to the pixel of our actual image or the resolution of actual image. So I think Affinity also needs to fine tune and improve on this particular specific part. So now I'll simply use the shortcut key of Command plus 0 in order to fit our image to the screen. And if you're using Windows, you can use the shortcut key of Control plus 0. However, the overall result right now is satisfactory. Now next, let's again open our generative edit feature. So I'll simply navigate to the left and then select our generative edit tool. After selecting the generative edit tool, I'll again give it a prompt. However, this time, instead of adding or removing objects from the image, I'll simply add the prompt to replace an object from the image. So I'll type in the prompt stating replace the phone from the image with a flower right on top of the table. Please harmonize the highlights and shadows according to the flower with the overall ambience of the image. Now, after I have typed in the prompt, let's click on the edit button in order to edit our image. So let's see where it goes this time. So now I'll simply skip to the end of the generation. Now you can see that it has successfully replaced the phone with the flower. However, it has also replaced the keys with the flower, which we do not want. So I think in terms of intelligence, it is also not very much capable of understanding our prompt for now. So maybe Affinity will improve their understanding or reasoning capabilities in the future for the AI models that they have been using. However, if we zoom in closely, then the overall generation of the flower is pretty much fine and has been quite naturally placed on top of the desk or table. Now, next I'll simply fit the image to the screen by using the shortcut key of Command plus 0. And this time, like before, I'll simply access the generative edit tool once again. And now I'll change the background of our image by keeping everything as it is. So I'll simply keep the vase, the flower, the table as it is in the image and simply change the background, which is the wall and the window. So for that, I'll simply give in a new prompt. Please change the background of the image to a different corner of the room. Please keep the highlight and shadows persistent according to the ambience of the image. Also harmonize the highlights and shadows according to the table and the objects placed on top of the table. Now, after I am satisfied with the prompt, let's go ahead and click on edit and see what Affinity will give us. So I'll simply skip to the end of the generation. So I think the model could not understand what we are saying this time. So the final verdict for this image is, although we can use the generative edit tool inside of Affinity to make changes and edit few things inside of our composition or image, there is still room for improvement for the model that the Affinity is currently using. So now I'll simply navigate back to our Pixel Studio, and after navigating back to our Pixel Studio, this time I'll bring in another new image. So I'll simply open our Finder window, and from the Finder window we have image 1. I'll simply click and drag our image 1 on top of our contextual bar to open it as a new document. So after successfully opening our new image as a new document, now you can see that the Canva AI Studio has automatically been selected. Now similar to before, let's go ahead and select our generative edit tool. So after selecting the generative edit tool, this time we'll give in a prompt inside of the prompt box. However, in contrast to before, this time we'll give in a new prompt. So for example, let's say we want to change the ambience of this image or the weather of this image from a sunset to a winter environment. So in order to do that, we can simply type in a prompt stating change the weather in the image to a winter season. So I'll simply give in this simple prompt and then go ahead and click on the edit button. Now let's wait for a moment and check what it will give us. Now you can see that it has successfully changed the weather in our image. However, we can notice that it has also changed our subject slightly as well as few details in our image. So it has made the overall ambience of our image pretty much snowy. However, if we look at the areas right here, then we can clearly notice that few things are looking a bit more unnatural and unrealistic. But if we give it a more precise and detailed prompt, maybe it will fix this issue as well. So this is the next application that we can use the generative edit feature inside of Affinity for. So overall, I hope you understood how you can use or leverage this feature to your advantage inside of your images or composition if you're using Affinity. So if you find this video helpful, please click on the like button. And for more helpful tips and tricks related to Affinity, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching this video and see you on the next one.